Hello readers, I'm the Avid reader, and today I'm doing an original book tag. This is the alternate history book tag, which is an original book tag by me. So here I answer 5 questions related to alternate history, and at the end I tag someone. So question number 1 is, what was the first alternate history book you read? And for me it was How Few Remain by Harry Turtledove, written in 1994, and I read this back in Christmas of 2018, so it has been 4 years since I read this book. This is the first volume in the Southern Victory series by Harry Turtledove, where the South wins the Civil War, and this novel is 20 years after the South won the Civil War, and there's a second war between the United States and the Confederate States now. You have Britain and France backing the Confederate States. You also have the USA and Canada going to war. And you get the perspective of multiple interesting characters in this book. So you get the perspective of Abraham Lincoln, Stonewall Jackson, Frederick Douglass, and Samuel Clemens, aka Mark Twain. And it's a very good start to the Southern Victory series. In this book series, for example, Lincoln is disliked and he also acts like a socialist. So in this book you also have the foundation of the Socialist Party backed by Lincoln in large part, as the Republican Party is going in decline because of losing the Civil War. Question number 2, what is your favorite alternate history book? And for this I would definitely say it is Lest Darkness Falls by L. Sprague de Camp, which was originally written in 1941, I think. This is the book that inspired Harry Turtledove to write alternate history, and it's a book where someone is taken back in time to, I think, the 6th or the 7th century in Italy, so a century or two after the fall of Rome, and now you have the Ostrogoths there. They are in the process of being attacked by the Eastern Roman Empire. The goal of the main character in this book is basically preventing the start of the Dark Ages, and it's a very well written and concise read. It's only a couple hundred pages, and I really loved this book. Question number 3, what is your favorite alternate history series? So here I would pick the Southern Victory series, although there are other very good Harry Turtledove alternate history series. Southern Victory, it's 11 volumes. The first volume is an American Confederate War in the 1880s. The 3 following volume, called the Great War Trilogy, is basically World War I, but where you have the Americans on the same side as the Germans, and then the Confederates are on the same side as the British and French. Here you actually have World War I carried out partially on the American continent, which did not happen in our timeline. The best war scenes I've ever read, I would say, come from the Great War Trilogy. And after that, the succeeding 3 books are the American Empire Trilogy. They take place during the interwar period. Here you see a lot of parallels between Germany during this time period and the Confederate States. And you have a strong man in the Confederate States who comes to power, consolidates power, opens up concentration camps, and starts discriminating heavily against blacks. And then the final 4 books in the series is Settling Accounts, and here it's World War II, again the Germans and Americans on one side, the British, French, and Confederates on the other side. Here you have an analogy for the horrors of World War II on the American continent. It's an amazing book series, I really love it. There are so many great characters, a lot of good character development. You see people who are originally good guys becoming monsters towards the end of the series. You have a lot of characters, some of them die, and you later get to see their family members living with the consequences of this. The Southern Victory series is the best alternate history series so far I have read. Question number 4, what is your favorite Harry Turtledove standalone novel? So Harry Turtledove, he's written a lot of series, but he's also written some standalone novels. And here I would pick In the Presence of My Enemies, which is written about 20 years ago. And this is Harry Turtledove's take on the Nazis winning World War II. And this is an extreme scenario where the Nazis have conquered most of Europe. They control Britain and America, and they have perpetrated a Holocaust against the Jews, against blacks, against Arabs, against a lot of Slavs. And you follow the story here of characters who are secretly Jewish who work for the German bureaucracy. And this is also an analogy kind of the Soviet Union during the end of the Cold War. So you get to see the beginning of the crumbling of a totalitarian empire in this book. You also kind of get to understand how it is to be a secret Jew living in a totalitarian state that wants to exterminate you. Then question number 5 is, what is your least favorite alternate history novel? And I'm gonna go with The Sky People by S.M. Stirling. This is an alternate history book, if I remember correctly, where you have humans who have colonized Mars or Venus during the Cold War. You have the Soviets and Americans competing, but there's a lot of weird fantasy stuff in this book. There are some interesting aspects where you have Neanderthals and humans at different stages of evolution, but it's a badly written book. There are some dinosaurs, so that's kind of interesting, but the ending sucks in this book. during a lot of this reading you're just confused of what is actually happening. Those are my 5 alternate book tag questions. The final thing I'm gonna do is tag someone, and here I'm gonna tag William's Library. He's a great book review channel which overlaps a lot with mine, and he actually wrote an alternate history of his own, so check William's Library out. Anyways, I'm the Avid Reader, and I will see you readers next time.